who knows where I'd be without boxing. So that's why my goal has always been to give everything I can back to this sport and to help others because I love this sport.
All that stuff you just said don't mean shit. You never drew 100 million people or 70 million people to the fight, have you?
Around like 75 million.
You never helped boxing before. Boxing helped you.
But that's what the sport needed.
Fight.
No way. Bro, like, shut up.
In a surprising move, Mike Tyson has just exposed Jake Paul for trying to cancel their fight out of fear of the boxing legend. Moreover, Y. Jones Jr. has just graphically compared the effect of Tyson's body blows to the force of a mule crushing his chest. His insights into Mike Tyson's punching power and its potential impact on Jake offer a compelling perspective on the upcoming bout. As a seasoned boxer who has faced Tyson in the ring, Jones's assessment carries significant weight within the boxing community. Jones Jr. told boxing legend Shane Mosley, "Mike Tyson is still the strongest puncher that I've ever been in the ring. With the first time he hit me in the chest, it felt like a mule had kicked me in the chest." Jones's recollection of Tyson's power paints a vivid picture of the sheer force behind his punches, describing the sensation of being struck by Tyson as akin to being kicked by a mule underscores the magnitude of Tyson's strength and its profound effect on his opponents. This first-hand experience serves as a testament to Tyson's unparalleled punching power, which has left an indelible mark on those who have faced him. Moreover, Jones's assertion that a punch from Tyson has the potential to incapacitate or floor any opponent highlights the formidable challenge that Jake Paul will face in the ring. He further added, "And if he hits anybody with a shot like that, they are either going out or down, especially guys who are not used to being hit like that." Unlike seasoned heavyweight champions like Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, who have withstood Tyson's blows, Paul lacks the experience and resilience to absorb such punishing strikes. Jones's comparison of Paul to heavyweight titans like Holyfield and Lewis underscores the scientific disparity in experience and conditioning between Paul and seasoned professionals. While Holyfield and Lewis possess the durability to withstand Tyson's onslaught, Paul's relative lack of experience and conditioning could leave him vulnerable to Tyson's ferocious punching power. Jones further mentioned, with these types of people like Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, these guys are bigger and can take it. But Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to be able to take that. It might hit him on the chin like that, we'll see, but it's going to be tough for him. In light of Jones's assessment, it becomes clear that Paul will face an uphill battle against Tyson. The prospect of absorbing Tyson's punches, which Jones describes as akin to being struck by a mule, presents a daunting challenge for Paul. Consequently, Jones's insights serve as a sobering reminder of the formidable task that awaits Paul in the ring against Tyson. Similarly, Alexander Usyk delivered a harsh judgment on Jake Paul as a promotional tactic for his upcoming bout. Tyson Fury Usyk engaged in a captivating video segment delving into a game of word association. In this intriguing footage, the Ukrainian Ian swiftly responded with one or two word associations when presented with various words or names. Jake Paul was one of the names that was mentioned, and Usysk's response was to stop boxing. Paul, who has been trying to balance job as an internet influencer with a professional boxing career, needs some stern counsel. Meanwhile, you can count former UFC champion Vitor Board among those who are distancing himself from the impending boxing match between Mike and Jake. As a former UFC champion with extensive combat sports experience, Belfort's insights carry weight within the fighting community. His assertion that the use of 16-0 gloves is typically reserved for sparring sessions to protect fighters raises questions about the legitimacy of the Tyson-Paul bout. Belfort suggests that the choice of larger gloves typically used in sparring indicates that the match may not be a serious professional contest, but rather a glorified sparring session. Belfort said 16-0 gloves are used only in sparring to protect fighters. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will do a sparring match live on Netflix, making millions of dollars by characterizing the event as a sparring match live on Netflix. Board implies that the primary objective may be entertainment and financial gain rather than genuine competition. The idea that Tyson and Paul are set to make millions of dollars from what essentially amounts to a glorified sparring session raises ethical and sporting integrity concerns. On the other hand, Lennox Lewis thinks Mike Tyson at the age of 57 years is still a strong opponent for Jake Paul. Lennox Lewis' perspective on the upcoming bout offers a nuanced insight into Tyson's capabilities. Despite his age, as a former undisputed heavyweight champion and one of the most respected figures in boxing history, Lewis's analysis carries considerable weight. Lewis acknowledges Tyson's age, but emphasizes that age alone does not diminish Tyson's power and skill at 57 years old. Tyson may not possess the same physical prowess he did in his prime, but his fighting instincts and power remain formidable. Lewis describes Tyson as two-dimensional, highlighting his aggressive fighting style focused on knocking out opponents.
Mike Tyson, he's fighting Jake Paul. You know this man well. What are your expectations for that big fight?
Mike Tyson is two-dimensional. He's going to come at you, trying to knock you out. You got to try and stay away from him. Stay away from his power.
One key piece of advice Lewis offers to Jake Paul is to avoid engaging Tyson head-on, and to steer clear of his power punches. Tyson's ability to deliver devastating combinations, as witnessed in recent training footage, underscores the importance of strategy and defensive tactics for Paul. Despite Tyson's age, Lewis emphasizes that he remains a genuine threat in the ring. Tyson's experience, punching power, and resilience make him a dangerous opponent for anyone, including Jake Paul. Lewis's assessment serves as a reminder that Tyson's status as a legendary fighter transcends age, and that underestimating him would be a grave mistake.
In working out the other day, he throws some good combinations. Make sure that he's not in the way of those punches. Tyson's a real fighter.
He's 57 years young. He still got it. He still got it in his eyes.
Oh yeah, Tyson can throw a punch. He can take a punch. He's doing something that he's...
Overall, Lewis's analysis underscores the significance of preparation and strategy for both fighters leading up to the bout. While Paul may have youth on his side, Tyson's experience and punching power cannot be overlooked. The dynamics of age versus skill will undoubtedly add intrigue to the matchup, with Lewis' insights contributing valuable perspective to the discussion. However, once hailed as the undisputed champion of the boxing realm, Iron Mike now faces doubt as he prepares to clash with a significantly younger adversary. Skepticism looms large, with pundits questioning whether the former knockout maestro can keep pace. The odds, to paint a picture of certainty mirroring the prevailing sentiment, the odds makers at DraftKings Sportsbook have Jake Paul as a -170 favorite versus the legendary pugilistic fighter at +130 underdog. According to the latest odds, staking 100 on the 27-year-old promises a return of $158.82, whereas betting on Tyson offers a more enticing payout of $230 for the same wager. Meanwhile, in a recent episode of his Podcast P with Paul George, Los Angeles Clippers forward Paul George delved into the buzz surrounding the upcoming showdown. Paul George engaged in a lively discussion with his fellow hosts, delving into the impending clash before unveiling his forecast for the match. PG said, "I am not going against Iron Mike. I am not going against Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is one of those guys that you see his name. I am voting Mike Tyson. I am going for Mike Tyson." The two boxers' age difference is concerning, but Paul George is certain that age shouldn't matter. He said, "I don't care about the age gap. He is actually fighting a boxer. He is not fighting an MMA guy. He is not fighting a wrestler. He is not fighting an entertainer. He is fighting a boxer. I don't care what the age gap is. He is fighting a boxer." Jake Paul frequently faces backlash for choosing not to compete against genuine boxers, and instead opting for retired MMA fighters and other celebrities. George echoed similar sentiments before ultimately selecting Tyson as his opponent for the bout. The NBA player continued by discussing Tyson's opponent and his commitment to the game. He asked, "What is the angle for Jake Paul? Is he hoping to establish himself as a serious boxer?" The panel talked about Paul's intelligence and his prospects in this sport going forward. They pointed out that the boxer was doing it for financial gain, but they advised him to start taking on more challenging opponents if he wanted to continue in the sport. Despite hanging up his gloves, Mike Tyson remains a prominent figure in the realms of media and entertainment. In 2022, he didn't mince words when critiquing Jake Paul's fighting style, even suggesting he could step back into the ring if he were in peak condition at that time. Tyson said Jake's punches, "You can see coming a mile away. You can see that coming a mile away. I'm 55. I can see that coming a mile away. I would beat these." Tyson's assessment of Jake Paul's punches, as telegraphed and easily readable, underscores his deep understanding of boxing technique and strategy. His confidence in his ability to defeat the Paul brothers without relying on traditional boxing tactics highlights his raw power and aggressive fighting style. The former heavyweight champion's assertion that he could forgo boxing training and still defeat his opponents speaks volumes about his natural talent and athleticism. Tyson's belief in his own abilities, coupled with his legendary status in the sport, adds weight to his comments and fuels speculation about what a potential comeback could entail. He added, "I'd go straight at them. There would be no boxing. The only thing I have to do is be in shape. 30 days of boxing training every day, and I can fight anyone if I'm boxing every day. I wouldn't even have to worry about my diet." While Tyson's comments may be viewed by some as brash or provocative, they underscore his unwavering self-confidence and passion for the sport that defined his career. Whether or not Tyson chooses to act on his words and step back into the ring remains to be seen, but his presence in the boxing world continues to resonate, shaping conversations